Okay, and welcome to another Generations Game podcast. And we have a new, I was going to say victim, a new willing volunteer. She did actually volunteer. This is Emma from the newsroom. You did actually volunteer to come and have a little chat on the Generations game. Yeah.
I actually did. I was like, do you know what? I can put my skills as being a young person to good use and help you out.
Well, thank you, Robert. It's very nice for you to be here. So, yes, we know Chris is around about 40 or thereabout. Are you still 40? Yeah.
Last time I checked, well, I'm not getting any younger now.
And I'm still 60. And you, Emma, are?
I'm 22.
22.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the age of Taylor Swift in her very popular song.
And a very popular song. And the whole point of this little podcast is just exploring some of the differences between the generations. And roughly there is 20 years between each of us. And we were talking not that.
Sorry, can I just stop you there?
Please do.
Did actually kind of reveal our ages, but I don't believe you really nailed 60.
Yeah.
No.
He does look though.
No, actually,
He does look a lot younger than that.
I'll be 61 in October.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday for then.
Why did they go, like...
I did.
Poor Howard.
It's just simply on the basis that it's a long time before she'll get ready. Like just under 40 years.
If the world hasn't exploded,
Yeah.
or the sea levels haven't risen too much that we've all drowned or whatever, then
Yeah. Oh, it is a bit terrifying. It will be around about 2062 by the time Emma's got to life.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Just putting out, and I suspect I will not be there to wish you a happy birthday. But there again, you see, you don't know, do you? Because every year, I sort of keep a vague eye on sort of popular science, and I've always quite liked science things. And already we are sort of growing and manufacturing heart valves, hearts, body parts. And I'm thinking, well, how long will it be before you think, oh, my heart's going? And they say, what size is it? And you say, well, just a medium-sized one, please. And we'll grow a new one. Yeah.
If you want, we can get you cryogenically frozen.
What does that mean?
And it's like, have you seen the Marvel films?
I've seen a few of them.
Okay, so you know what happened to Chris Evans in the first one, the first Avenger?
Are we talking about the radio DJ?
No, the actor. He plays Captain America. He was frozen under ice, and then he came back to life. And then he was the age he was in 1940s or whatever. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is we cryogenically freeze Howard, and then we can bring him back for my 60th birthday.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Rumour has it that that's what happened to Walt Disney. And that there are firms on there who genuinely offer that service. I don't know, certainly not in the Isle of Man, but possibly in Britain, definitely in America, where you can choose to have your body. I think the concept is you're frozen shortly after you sort of technically die. And then they freeze everything cryogenically, as you say, so it'll stay there pretty much forever. It'll cost you, or it'll cost your family or your estate, on the basis that you have a perfectly preserved body, and in 2060, 2090, 31, whatever it is, when they might be able to say, oh, well, yes, remember that Chris Quirky died of a faulty lung, just whack a new lung in and bring you back to life.
But what if you decided to get frozen and thought, well, do you know what, I'll come back at a better time, and they forgot?
Well, you would.
Or would you just be in a constant dream for the rest of your life?
Do they put a note on your coffin type thing and say he wants to come back in, and then maybe it's a better time?
Better time. And who decides when a better time is?
Well, more to the point, though, it struck me, though, if you did come back, it's not actually a proven technology, is it? Because I don't think there's anyone for certain knows you can actually do this, in as much as say, oh yes, he needs a new lung, here we go, we'll just defrost him, whack the new lung in, and then presumably, I don't know, get a sort of like a defib or something, jump to start you back to life.
Yeah.
Well, Howard, they did it in the Marvel film, so I don't understand why they can't do it in real life.
Well, did it? Sylvester Stallone done it in Demolition Man. Do you remember that?
No.
What's Demolition Man?
Oh my goodness, this is the age divide. This is the years before and after Making Me on My Own. Yeah, it was a movie called Demolition Man, Sylvester Stallone, and they literally froze him, just like what we've mentioned here, and then brought him back later on, and that's pretty much it, really.
But more to the point, would you not be slightly worried? Because if it did work, And then you came round again, so I'd come around and say, oh gosh, wow, where am I? What year is it? It's 3124.
Yeah.
Great, I'll just go and see my friend. Where's Emma? She died 120 years. Oh, right, well, where's Chris? He died 160 years ago. Oh. And wouldn't it be a little bit weird? You'd be there sort of at your same age, whatever you died.
Yeah, but...
And all you could do would be able to look up your great-great-grandchildren.
Have you not heard the Year 3000 song by, is it Busted?
Yeah.
Then you could just live out that whole
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm not going to sing it because nobody wants to hear that. But like,
Good point.
we're agreeing, Chris. That was really...
Oh, I mean, yes, please, sing.
No, it's fine.
I'll agree as well. I've heard her sing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not great.
I think it'd be a bit of a weird one. I'm not convinced with that. The older I get, the more I realise it is true, probably what your folks always tell you. You don't feel any difference, other than, something drops off, or you have an illness or a disease, or whatever the case may be, if you're unfortunate enough, and let's face it, at some stage, you're going to get something. But yeah, other than that, you don't feel any different, do you? You feel exactly the same inside when you're 60s as you did when you're 40s, you did when you were 22.
And I was chatting
Just ache a bit more here.
to Ben when we had that meeting earlier, and there was beanbags around, and Ben sat down, and I said to him, the thing is about our age now, you'll probably struggle to get out of that. And he said, well yeah. The other day I had a meeting in the newsroom, and I sat down, and it took an extra 10 or 15 seconds to get up. Because as you get older, your body, it just deteriorates. You don't know. At least she's looking at me in pure shock here.
Yeah.
Like I'm... Well,
I'm actually shook. I do not want to get to 40 and not be able to get up off a beanbag. Like, that sounds so depressing.
At least you know what a beanbag is, which is good.
I had a beanbag in my bedroom when I was younger. It's now migrated down to our living room. But I had a beanbag. It's pale pink and it's got white spots on it. So yeah, I know.
Good call. Well, you do get to the stage as well, actually, whenever you get up, you go, ah.
Yes, no, the noises come out, don't they, when you get older. Or when you sit down, you can put your hands down first on the chair, you're like, yeah. And you notice that. So, have you noticed that?
No.
Look at this. This is pure shock. Like, these people are dying around this.
Because I can get up off a chair like a normal person and just stand up.
Yeah.
I just don't think about it.
You don't know, but there will come a time, of course.
There will come a time, yeah. You'll probably have a cane and a stick, and you'll be hobbling about.
Yeah, but I've decided already that I'm going to be an eccentric old person.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But what if you can't get out of the chair?
It's a natural follow-on from being an eccentric.
Well, I'm just going to have to design an eccentric-looking wheelchair or something, or, I don't know, maybe...
Square wheels.
Square wheels.
No.
Drag your legs in. I'll keep her in her place there.
I think, your thoughts definitely do change as you get older. And again, I can think, I have hit 60 now, and without a doubt, I can remember at 60, I thought, geez, that's really ancient, isn't it? And now, of course, I've hit the age, and I'm thinking, no, it's not that bad, is it? It's not actually that old anymore. And in the scale of things, compared to going back a few generations, 60 isn't that old now, because all the time, as we know, we're living longer generally because medical science is improving, and health generally is improving, and living standards, I know they're not improving necessarily at the moment, but they have improved dramatically over the last century or so. And as is witnessed by the things of, the riots in France at the moment or whatever, but things like retirement age. At one stage, you'd retire at 60 because you might be dead by 70, but now the chances are you'll be going strong at 75. And that's an awfully long time then to be pulling a pension or whatever if you've already been working for 25, 30 years. And I think that's where it starts getting complicated, because like I said, by the time you may or may not come to retire, if you think about it, my guess would be the concept of retirement by the time you get to my age will probably have gone altogether. It's just a case of you carry on working in some form or other until pretty much you pop your clogs.
I don't think I'd like that. I don't think I could work my whole life. I think you have to cut off at some point, because I think potentially, like you said before, your body does start to give up on you at some point.
It does a bit, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah. But there again, like I said, that's another unknown, isn't it? You think there's absolutely no doubt that medical science is improving every year, and with AI and all these other new technologies coming in, you just feel that speed of change is going to actually increase over the years. And so, I was just saying at the beginning, you think, things now which would be a real problem 20, 30 years time would just be a case of, we can sort that out, it's no problem. You think, we've got it really bad, that's fine, just come in, we'll just do a bit of laser treatment and that, we'll just do a bit of 3D remodeling on the base of your spine or whatever the case may be. And it might be very standard, assuming we've got all the nurses and tech and enough people to actually do it.
I've got a friend who has worked on building sites for years, and he's actually a bit younger than me, but his knees are gone, his back, his lower back, and he's nowhere near retirement age. But if someone, were to be retired, it would be him, because he physically can't, sort of do the job anymore. So now he's in a predicament where he's going to have to retrain to do a completely different career, which is going to set him back, obviously, many, many years, so he can try and achieve that, financial threshold that he got to with his mortgage and things like that. So, in terms of, a retirement age, I don't think it's fair. I don't want to be working, until I drop. I'm sure you don't, and it's not long for you, Howard. I'm sure you don't want to either.
Okay, Chris, we know where you stand.
She comes in colors everywhere. She combs her hair. She's like the rainbow. Coming colors in the air. Oh, everywhere. She comes in colors.
The thing is, I think it also depends, as you say, on the type of work you're doing, and that clearly if you're doing a really physical labour, then I don't think you can carry on for that long. If it's something, or indeed something with an awful lot of mental stress, maybe not. Again, would you want a fireman who was 78 to be coming to your house to go up a ladder and try and rescue? And you're thinking, well, probably not, because the chances are, I doubt they're not going to be as agile and nimble and as fast and as strong as they were when they were still 38. And so you think there's opposite things there. But the sort of stuff we do here, working in, say, radio, or which probably become things like radio, media, entertainment, stuff like that, you think, well, you can still carry on doing that when you're 60, the same as you can when you're 40, the same can when you're 20, and probably there are plenty of people at Manx Radio who are considerably older than me who are still broadcasting and doing stuff. I'm hardly the eldest here, so you think it all depends on what you're doing and what you want to do.
With radio, before coming up here, Christian Jones showed me something. I don't know if he showed you.
No, I asked him what his level of humour was, and then he said, oh, okay, I won't play it to you then. So I was like, great. So I haven't heard it.
Right, so, talking about radio and retiring in radio and our jobs and that sort of thing, well, after listening to what Christian had, I think there's a strong possibility that we won't be retiring in radio, but we could probably get sacked at some point or let go of, because this AI system in place now is amazing. And he played me a clip of him talking about AI and a story saying, oh, AI is taking over the world, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, what do you think of that? And I said, oh, yeah, it's good. He said, well, what would you say if I told you that was actually AI? The whole speech was AI. I couldn't believe it, and it sounded identical to him. He spoke into it for a good, minute or two. It analysed his voice, the inflections, everything is so accurate. And yeah, he obviously typed in his script, played it back, and you wouldn't know. So who knows what the future's going to hold? Will news be simply just typed and then played at a certain time, or even DJs, there might not be any need for us. We might just, instead of remoting in to, do a show, we might just stop it. Oh yeah, I'll type a few words up,
I suppose that there's two things of that, isn't it? It's a case of what you'd want AI to do, and if it's something just boring and repetitive, and frankly that you just need a voice, then you think, you don't necessarily need someone there. So I suppose in theory, something like a newscast, if it's just a straight newscast where it's basically someone reading a script off a screen or a piece of paper, and you could just basically type that in, and if it could be read out in a voice that people liked and no one could tell, you could argue, well, why bother then? I suppose something like a DJ or something like that, then it's a case of, obviously, if they were inputting it, then they would still have their input into what they were talking about and, their personality, and that's the whole thing, isn't it? I suppose AI doesn't currently have a sort of personality or quirkiness, unless you excuse the pun, unless it's actually programmed for the person who actually is the person, as it were.
If you were to be able to choose a voice, what would it be? What kind of voice would you choose? Would it have an accent? Would you have like a really sort of deep late night show voice? If you were to do a show or something and you had like full control over it?
I don't know, because I think I'm not a morning person, so I wouldn't be able to, I would be very good like a happy, chirpy morning person.
Yeah.
So I'd go for like an afternoon, evening, but I am a bit of a night owl.
Yeah.
So potentially something like that. But if you're to like accent, I'm not very good at accents in general.
No?
But I do like a French accent. I think they're the best.
Yeah? Could you do one?
Not very well. Hang on. I'll just start with French. I should be like, bonjour, je m'appelle Emma. My name is Emma. And if it's not very good, it's really bad. You can cut that bit out, Howard.
This is...
I was like, my name is je m'appelle merci. And then he goes on like,
Oui.
left birds. I think I can see the Tower of Bridges outside the window, although it is a little bit misty outside.
Yeah?
Something like that.
Afternoon.
I apologise to any French people who have French family that just listen to that. I apologise profusely.
Do you want that French sultriness?
No, but I think it would be good for a late night show though.
That'd be good. You had a French fancy or something like that. Could, play some love songs and be like,
Emma's French fancy.